And hi all, those who are here, I would be four people already in. But please confirm if I'm clearly audible, the screen visible, and moving clearly. It is not still. All good. Very fine. In the last session we tried to, okay, we had an overview of how data exists in an enterprise. It is not in any random form. It is a properly standardized way. So that's where DBMS comes in, database management systems. So there are very sophisticated and very efficient mechanisms, instruments for that. One of them is MySQL. Well, that's one we are using. Well, this is with everybody. You are having a look at a company's database, which is keeping records of their employees. Now, various types of records are being maintained by different types of people or departments or functions, and we are having a certain information about same people. Now we are trying to put this together in a database. So in the last session, we tried to, not tried, actually we did. We created a company database and we were able to create a table there. We understood about the create table and the various data types available in SQL. I left you people with a task that you will complete this database. Were you able to do it? Anybody who is still struggling? It may be installation, it may be DDL part. So far we have seen just DDL part. We created a schema and then we created some tables in that schema and then we tried to insert values to those tables, added values there. So this is all DTL. We are trying to define the data, how data will exist in this database. Let me see some clear. Everybody clear? Please go ahead. If not, then drop me the query. There are some 9 people other than me in the meeting. I'm expecting 9 responses at least. If somebody is not way too enthusiastic. Go ahead, people. This will give me a clue that what I should do next. What are you people up to? Either give me a go ahead or tell me what is the question you have. Like Shekhar did. Nothing in particular, Watson. Just create a database. We have just created a schema called company database with help of this icon. You just have to give your custom name there. What do you want to call your database? Once your database is here in the list of schemas, you highlight it, double click it, so it is selected, and that's where the real job begins. Once you are here, I'll keep dropping in the chat box one by one these things. So last weekend we did this. We created a table and then we inserted some values. I think it is not complete. I will drop it again. No problem, Watson. Catch up, catch up. Go easy. Catch up. Do tell me when you catch up, or do tell me if you are left behind. What about others? Others done with this? Creating table and inserting these values. Once you are done with this, you will have a table employee, just like that PDF file. I have sent it again, Shekhar. It was incomplete in one text. I have dropped it again. Okay, done with this. So you get table employee, which is containing the same data as that of PDF. What are the other tables here? Then there is next table is okay department. Let's create a department table here in the chat box. If you are coping up, well and good. If you are not able to cope up, please tell me so that I'll stop with doing something else. So this time there is a department table. Again, name form, column name, and the data type of column. Some constant. Finally, there is constant on primary key. What can be the primary key on this table? Department table created. Let's insert values into department table. Yes, Manish, anything? Write and create table. Not writing, you have to write a complete query, no? Check this semicolon if there is this semicolon on the previous query. If there is no semicolon here, Manish, and you start writing create table, it will show error because it will consider that create table to be part of that previous query. Yes, what's up? What's up? You're speeding up. What's happening? We are working on yes, workbench. What's up? Show me your screen, what's up, and keep your mic switched on.
So one second.
My goodness, that's one hell of a desktop. Okay, go ahead. What has happened?
So it's loading.
Watson, have some pity on your system. Clean up your desktop at least.
Yes, sir. I have to actually I have to get my system reformat. It has a lot of virus in it, so I have to take out time this week and get it done.
Okay, okay. Another Age of Empires fan. I see various versions. Okay, click on this local instance in connections. Connections, Watson, down below. Yes, yes, yes. Click on this. Let's create connection. It will prompt you to the password
Yeah.
which you have set. Okay, here it is. Have you forgotten the password? What's up?
So 1 second.
Seems like that.
तो पासवर्ड रीसेट कैसे करते हैं?
पासवर्ड रीसेट कैसे करते हैं? ये ले, ऐसा करते हैं.
सॉरी सर.
Here in the chat box. ठीक है. Okay, ठीक है, no problem. Go ahead. So now you have department table 2. Didn't I enter this? Okay. Yes, it is here. So employee table done, department table done. What else? Anybody else facing any problem? All going? I think everything is going like clockwork. Meanwhile, before I forget, please everybody leave everything else and drop a present in the chat box. Let's go to the next table. What is next table? That is department locations. Okay, guys. But don't miss your attendance. Please mark your attendance first. Yeah. Very fantastic. This trick always works, you know. When it comes to attendance, even the dead wake up and start speaking. Present sir, प्रॉक्सी क्यों ना लगाना? चलो ठीक है. Getting to department location table. Here it is. I think this is one is pretty small. Here it is. Let's create department locations table and insert the values of department locations. Let's see. Okay, so this table is also in place. Shekhar, you are getting error. You are present now, Shekhar. What is the error? Read it first. Table employee already exists. Yes, it means table is already there. We just have to insert values. We don't have to run it time and again. Once table is created, it is already there. Click on that now. Refresh there. Schemas. Refresh there. Because yes, correct. And you think table is already there. So you have to refresh in between. You don't need to execute time again. Oh, what well, it is pretty straightforward. It has nothing. Okay, do one thing. For now, you can share my screen and pay attention to this, what's going on. Okay, the code I'm sending, you can copy paste that in a notepad file or maybe a notepad plus plus, and later you can set up the password. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing, yeah, much to do. It will just waste time of others if I engage there. Okay, what else? Now, check this employee table. How is it? It is already created, no? हाँ तो पीछे छोड़ देना भाई अब उसका कुछ और बनाते हैं बन तो गई so let's create next table and insert value refresh and so on. What's next? Then there is okay works on table. Create a table works on here in the chat box and insert the value again in the chat box. So now there is a works on table as well. Everybody till here. I'm moving quickly because you can have your understanding later on. What is the data type and why I entered this like that and if there is any question you can come back to me tomorrow. So that is not a problem. In fact, I'll give you some time to look up to it, whatever we have done. Okay. Then there is what table? Then there is project table. Okay. There are projects which are being dealt by certain departments at certain location. So we need those details too. So let's create a table project here. And there are the values for this project table. Good. So far, so good. All set. And then there is last table that is dependent. And with this, so here is the dependent table here in the chat box. Okay. So first I'll hold here for Monica. The first one. Okay. Monica, here is the table defined. We have defined the table, and second part is here. Here are the values inserted. Now that we have entered all the tables, I'm muting myself and I'll hold for a minute. Very welcome, Monica. Now give it a moment. Think about it. Is everything fine? Whatever was on that PDF file, is it looking like database now? All the tables are here, the values, nothing missing, nothing less, nothing more. Have a look at your code and see what you have been doing. What are the data types you have used? What are the functions you have used? Create in what syntax? Insert in what syntax? Okay, take a minute. I'm pausing here for a minute and tell me when you are good to go. Sanjay, how's this going? Okay, are you saying something? Yes, I'm saying something. Okay. Chalo, at least I'm audible. Maybe I was not saying something to you. I was just humming a song. So yes, I I do that kind of thing sometimes. I forget my mic is on, and yeah, my students become witness to my legendary conversation sometimes. I don't know how many times I have to be embarrassed like that, so that I remember to switch off my mic in time. Never learning. Shaker, we have total 5 tables under consideration. No, there are 6. Okay, you figured it out. Okay. What's the difference between small and int? Monica, again, it is related to length. Int is integer. I don't know exactly if this is something. how many bytes this input is going to consume. So small int is just for one digit. If I need to represent it by one digit, so that is a small int. So it will only consume 1 byte or 2 bytes. If I define it as integer, it is automatically it is going to consume 4 bytes, and whether it is one digit, two digit, or how many digits, it is going to consume a certain number of bytes. So again, it is memory management. Honestly speaking, I don't exactly remember what are the numbers.
Unmuted.
Somebody's mic is on. Guys, if you need to say something, please drop in the chat box first. I'll ask you to switch on mic if needed be. So I think all in all good. Anything other than this? Int and small int. So this way you have all the tables which were there on this rough data set. Now it is part of your DBM. Now as we defined, the DBMS should be, Anji, what it should be? It should be a integrated repository. Remember, a database to become a data warehouse, a proper data warehouse, an organizational data, it should be one should be able to integrate various tables. So that's where primary key and foreign key concepts came in. Again, kind of DDL part, but uh, not exactly your role, but you should know that uh, these are the things which are necessary to do. So I'm dropping in the chat box here. I'm altering table. And what is the altercation here? I'm defining the foreign key in the tables which have foreign key. That what is the foreign key in this table and which primary key of some other table does this foreign key refers to? Remember we talked about that a foreign key, if my data engineers are very good, the foreign key would essentially refer to primary key of some other table. So that's what we are altering in these tables. That's what we are defining now. So go ahead, give it a look and run them. Anyway, we have to run them, but don't just run them like shooting in the blank. Pay attention to things, what's happening. Anshit, any questions, any problems so far? All set? Okay, if that's the case, okay, let's say enough of DDL. So that is much of DDL part of SQL in which we are trying to define the data. So far, what we have done nothing. We are just defining the data. We are defining the schema. Then we move ahead to define the table. What are the table columns? What are the data type of columns? Again, defining. Then we define the data which will insert into this. So again, the data has begun to sit into the database. And finally, we have come up to constraints. We are saying add constraint like this. What would be the foreign key? What would be the primary key in a table? Who will reference which column of the table? Background noise, it may be background noise, but I hope I am clear. Am I comprehensible? You can understand me fully. Big noisy, that is another thing. Okay. Okay. Noise is another thing. Not clear. You mean my voice is not clear? Am I not audible enough? So we will leaving a note. Next, let's wait for a while, and after that we will start off with DML section. It's 3:32 by my clock. Okay, guys, wait for some 10 minutes, and meanwhile a couple minutes I will take for searching the spot. Okay, anyway, so we resume at I think 3:45. I think that is a sufficient break. So let's be back on time. Okay, see you. Guys, hi again. Please confirm if it is it any better audio wise. Okay. 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 और किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन before I begin? One is okay. Alter table वाली command समझ नहीं आ रही. Shekhar, one thing you see, you will not notice the thing. That is something internal happening in the database. You will not see it happening physically somewhere. अभी बताता हूँ. See, हमने क्या दिया है बता रहा हूँ मैं एक चीज दिखा रहा हूँ आपको. Let's see this example, the highlighted one. What we are trying to explain here is I am trying to set a constraint that employee table should be joined with department table. Integration of repository, the two data sets. I should be able to link them. I should be able to yes, I should be able to join them. Now I am defining what would be the common ground on what basis they will be joined. So I am saying yes. That D number in employee table will act as foreign key, and foreign key of one table, in this case employee table, should essentially be primary key of some other table, which is D number in department. So that is what's happening here. Now, as far as syntax is considered, that is pretty much, that is, well, syntax is syntax. It is the way it is. Now, if you really ask me, what if I don't give this? What will happen if I don't give this? I can still link employee, I can still join employee with department on the basis of D number. What else there is? अरे और कुछ है ही कहाँ जिस पे ज्वाइन करूंगा? Well, really, in this case, it is not so. That there is no other such common uh, other such common column, other such common ground on basis of which I can join these two tables. But as the case may be, there is possibility that there are two columns which are common in two tables, and I can join with them with either of them. So now that's where this becomes necessary. It should be very well defined. So if data engineers are good enough, they will take care of this. Shekhar, whatever is common in two table, now that is foreign key in one table, but it should be primary key in other table also. That is the constraint. That is the proper way. If it is not so, then well, you may, you may tweak out and maybe you are able to work somehow, but it is not formal. Very well. Okay, sounds good. If this is clear. Now we are at the stage where really the job of an analyst or data scientist starts. I hope you remember this slide. Remember this? I gave special emphasis on this one. Yes, you remember that? That's where your job begins. You had a data, a raw data. Now it is in a standard form and it is sitting in the database. Now there is a business problem before you. Now your stakeholder is asking you for a problem. You have to fetch the right data and then you will analyze it further. Maybe you will go up to predictive modeling and ED and bivariate and whatnot, whatever you have learned in R. But the first is first. First, you have to extract the right data, only the relevant data, according to the business problem. Yes, exactly, bang on money. The data which is relevant to my business problem, not the whole gamut of information, whatever we have captured. So now that is the part, and that is essentially called DML or specifically DQL, data query language or data manipulation language. Now we are trying to fetch that data, only querying that data which I want. There. So the way we will go ahead with this is I will show you a question as if somebody is asking you that fetch me this data, and we will try to form a query which will fetch that particular data which is being asked. Okay, and slowly and gradually we will try to answer these kind of some 25, 30, or maybe more, even more questions. Okay. Question one. there it is. However, you have already done that. Now, what you will do is you will maintain it like you have built a query for DDL language. Click on this file, click on this new script, so a new script will be created and start forming DML queries here. You will copy this question and then you will the answer query so that it will become a kind of cheat sheet. It will become a key for you for further reference. What you have done already is remember we clicked here on tabular form on this employee, the tabular form here. We clicked on that. What actually it was doing? It was executing a query and we were seeing the result. Pay attention to your query now. What is the question? है आपका क्वेश्चन क्या कह रहा है? आपका क्वेश्चन यही कह रहा है retrieve all rows and all columns of employee table, all the details of employee table. Yeah, it is momentary work, sir. How this query is working is select when it comes to DML or preferably DQL, it will work in clause like DDL clause. What were DDL clause? Like the one which you have seen already. DDL clause were create, retrieve. There is retrieve also which you have not seen, but yes, it is there. Update, delete, insert. So these were all DDL clause. Similarly, DML has its own set of clause. And what will be the syntax? So it will be like select something from something. So select is a clause and from is a clause. What do we mention in the select clause? It is rows, columns. Specifically, columns. Which columns you want to select? From contains, what is contained by from? From contains the table name. From which table? And terminated by semicolon. So this is select and from clause. Let's pay attention to the query, which is executed by clicking on the tabular form. You see, it is highlighted just like in SW font. These are again special keywords because these are clause. They are identified by SQL. How it is working? It is saying select. In place of columns, it has put asterisk sign. What does it mean? What does it mean? All the columns. Exactly, Monica. Correct. We call them wildcards. So one of them is asterisk. We will see what are other wildcards soon enough. So asterisk represents everything, all the columns. I don't have to put name of like F name, then minute, then L name. I'm saying all the columns. Select everything from. Then it is mentioning the schema name. It is company database dot employee. It should go to company database, and in company database dot which table, employee table. So that is the syntax. Now again, since it is workbench, even if you don't mention company database, it already knows. Since you have highlighted it, you have already double clicked it, selected it. So workbench already knows that you are talking to company database. Same result. Okay. Now if you ask me whether it should be all capital or it should be all small like this, well, good news. SQL doesn't mind it. आर में दुखे हुए थे ना बहुत इन बातों को लेकर के. एसक्यूएल अच्छा आदमी है. हाँ उसे इट इज फ्लेक्सिबल विद केसेस. सुन लेता है तुम्हारी थोड़ी बहुत. ओके. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. अब समझ आ रहा है थोड़ा बहुत. अगर सारे कॉलम लेने होते तो एस्ट्रिक. अगर मुझसे बोले हैं तो कुछ पर्टिकुलर कॉलम लेने हैं तो आई विल मेंशन द कॉलम नेम सेपरेटेड बाय अ कॉमा. ठीक है. जरा करके देखेंगे अपने आप से. बताइए मेरे को क्या क्वेरी लिख रहे हैं. इज समथिंग वर्किंग फॉर यू? Monica and I think okay, Yash is not there, but those people, the people who are a little bit handy with coding and SQL, तो उनको थोड़ा सा बोरिंग लगेगा अभी ये वाला सेशन बिकॉज बिल्कुल आई एम जस्ट आई एम ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड अपॉन जीटी डीएमएल पार्ट. तो थोड़ा सा बहुत बेसिक से स्टार्ट करना पड़ रहा है फॉर एवरीबॉडी सेक. दिस हैज टू बी डन. वेरी फाइन मोनिका. अदर समझ आता है. हियर इज द क्वेरी. अब की बार मैंने कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं किया. मैंने अगर टाइप कर रहा हूँ so again you can try typing in small or capital. In my days it used to be a practice that people used to type in bold. Now it is somehow changing. Now the standard is coming that let's type clause in small letters. I don't know where this is coming from. Every decade there is a new fashion. But okay, it is the way it is now. So it would be good if you make it a practice that you are typing out in small letters, all small. Maybe you can type in capitals also, nobody minds. What I am saying, select which column. अब की बार क्वेश्चन में बोला क्या मुझसे? Not all the columns. It has asked me particular columns, first name and last name of the employee. So first name is F name column, comma, last name is L name. So these are the columns which I have to select from which table? From employee table. सिंटैक्स हमेशा यही रहेगा. This is something wonderful about SQL. All TTML work this way. There is a particular sequence of clause, there is a particular job of a clause, and they will come in their own place. No, no tweaks. Straightforward thumb rules. Select some columns from this table, from this table. Over. The command is showing red cross because there is no semicolon in the previous command. इससे पहले जो लिखा है वहां कहीं सेमीकोलन मिस हो गया या जो करंट लिख रहे हो उसमें नहीं लगा. आता हूँ इस पे भी आता हूँ. Just like asterisk, everything has its own job. Asterisk is wildcard. It means everything. This semicolon, this is necessary guys. This semicolon means that this query which is started from select is over here. Is over here. If we don't put the semicolon, it will consider that next is also part of that previous query. So this is important. Semicolon is Arnold. Terminator. Uh, then comes the comma. How comma works is comma will always work as separator. Separator in the sense I needed two columns. How do I mention the two columns? So यहाँ कोई वेक्टर नहीं बन रहा, कोई इंडेक्सेस नहीं देने, कुछ नहीं. एक कॉलम ये बताना है, कॉमा दूसरा कॉलम ये बताना है. ठीक है जी. सेमीकोलन टर्मिनेटर, कॉमा सेपरेटर. याद रहेगा. सेमीकोलन अर्नोल्ड, कॉमा वेल शाहरुख खान. अब याद रहेगा. चलो जी. Now something, another good utility, which is a keyword called as, which is used to give alias. If I run this query, it has printed f name and a last name. Well, the column names are coming like, well, जैसे थे वहाँ पर डेटाबेस में आपके f name, l name, not seemingly very intuitive. बहुत अच्छे से नहीं लग रहे हैं देखने, समझ नहीं आ रहे हैं बहुत अच्छे. So you can use alias that I want to see f name, but as what? So you can change this column name. So it is called alias. I am saying show वैल्यूज तो वही दिखानी है जो एफ नेम कॉलम में है, लेकिन कॉलम का नाम कुछ अच्छे से दिखाओ मेरे. तो आई एम सेइंग शो इट एज फर्स्ट नेम एंड शो इट एज लास्ट नेम. You see that? So this is called alias. Now tell me, how many of you, tell me honestly, diligently, how many of you didn't know about this alias? Only those people to respond who did not know about it. It is again for my understanding. Don't shy away and don't be modest. If you know, chill. If you didn't know, then it is information. What's the alias thing? What I just said, it is just a small trick, but I need to know that if you don't know that. Why I am asking this is If you don't know about this, then it is information. Then it is something new. Then it is knowledge. Well, if you know that, then I get a sense that what should be the base and what are the things which I should skip. I think many people did not know. Okay, fine. Seems good. Seems good. No problem at all. Okay. Question for you people. Here in the chat box. Do it yourself. Let's see how you turn it around. When you are done with this, drop your query in the private chat, not on the public chat. Set your chat to private chat now, because now we are doing some question and answer thing. I don't want everybody to copy this the same. Even if you are able to copy paste, please don't copy paste. It will not help. Try to figure it out yourself. Very fine, Monica. Correctly done. Monica, you have begun to give me impression that you are very handy with it. But, even if not very handy, but you are decently handy with it. Is it so? Is it your job role? It involves there? Oh, okay, that is the reason. Okay, okay, okay. Fine. What is okay? It was. I got it. I got it. It was the one which was being hosted by Gagan, right? Am I right? Yep. I recall now. Yes. What's up? Is it working? I don't think it is working. Manish? Okay, fantastic. Okay, acha, what shall you are anyway doing this work? And okay, very fine. So this is the query. Yes, Manish, it's correct. Yours is correct. So बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ करने को है नहीं अभी इसमें. Select, you wanted to select columns from, you wanted to tell a table from which table, and you are set. Now, generally your query will not look like this. How will your query go? Remember, you will have a business problem and you have to fetch the data according to that. So that is, you will need data based upon some condition. And to mention condition, there comes your next clause. देखते रहना है. Third comes in sequences, where clause which allows you to give a condition. For example, the question will be something kind of this. Here in the chat. What does your question want now? It wants you to fetch the details of employee. Now details means all the columns. It wants no specific column. When it is saying details already, that means everything. So that is pretty obvious. But what is the condition? There is a condition hidden here. Only those employees whose salary is at least 40,000. So how do we write that? One more thing which you should become habitual of, which at least I am habitual of. I will use this clause. You can, if you write them in one line, you can do that. You can write select and then from and then where and then even then maybe something else and then terminate it. So the problem is there's nothing wrong with this. It is just that it may confuse you yourself. You may get confused by this. The receiver of your code, he or she may be confused by this. So this is also one good habit if you mm, start developing it. I used to write one clause in one line so that I am clear what is happening in my query. Retrieve all the details. So select district, verify. From which table? From which table? Which table contains salary? It is employee table. That is the only table which contains salary. So from employee table. But according to what condition? What condition? The condition is where salary is. What is the question? Salary is at least 40,000. What does it mean mathematically? Not only greater than. It means greater than or equal to. It may be equal to also. At least 40,000 कह रहा है. यानी 40,000 है तो भी चलेगा. इससे कम नहीं होनी चाहिए. Let's see the result. And as we see, so there are only 3 employees whose salary is greater than or equal to 40,000. You see the difference? Greater than and greater than equal to. ये देख रहे हो? अर्थ का अनर्थ हो जाता है इतनी देर में. हाँ जी, वही बताना चाह रहा हूँ मैं. कितना काम होने का नंबर है, एक क्वेरी गलत हो गया. एक क्वेरी का एक नंबर अगर हुआ, एक नंबर कम होने का मतलब है कम से कम 10-15 लोग तो तुम्हें सरपास करें. If you are in the technical round of some a good employer or a reputed employer, एक नंबर से इतना फर्क तो हो जाता है. शॉर्ट लिस्ट होना ना होना डिसाइड हो जाता है. Okay. Another question in the chat box. Let's see if you can come up with this. Give it a try, guys. Tell me what do you think, how it turns out. हाँ सेलेक्ट टेस्टेड आगे भी कुछ अच्छा ओके दैट इज अ लेसन है वही दिखाना चाह रहा था थिंक अबाउट इट सेलेक्ट समथिंग ओके फ्रॉम वेयर इज दिस समथिंग थिंक ऑफ द टेबल which table which table is this query talking about it is not always talking to employee और भी तो 6 टेबल हैं आपसे उसने बोला है सेलेक्ट द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ द डिपेंडेंट्स ऑफ सम ESSS ओके कोई एम्प्लॉय है उसका एसएसएन इतना है उसके डिपेंडेंट्स का डेटा बोल रहा है उसके डिपेंडेंट से भी ये बोल रहा है कि उनके रिलेशनशिप क्या क्या है ठीक है जी कहाँ से मिलेगा ये गॉट दिस ऑल्दो मैनी ऑफ यू ऑलरेडी गॉट दिस कहाँ मिलेगा कंपनी डेटाबेस इसका टेबल है देयर इज अ डिपेंडेंट टेबल देखो डिपेंडेंट टेबल यहाँ बात हो रही है डिपेंडेंट्स की यहाँ कह रहा है वो कि कोई एसएसएन दिया हुआ है पता नहीं कौन सा जो भी है एक एसएसएन दिया है उसमें उसके डिपेंडेंट्स हैं उन डिपेंडेंट से उसका रिलेशनशिप क्या है जस्ट रिलेशनशिप की बात की लेट्स फाइंड आउट तो हमने क्या सेलेक्ट रिलेशनशिप कॉलम फ्रॉम विच टेबल डिपेंडेंट टेबल दिस टाइम वेयर ESSN कॉलम में ये वैल्यू आ रही है so there are 3 relatives of this SSN here this person's daughter spouse and son ठीक है जी कुछ कहानी समझ आ रही है now before we wind up today any questions we'll continue from today itself if you want you can play around with this data set a little bit develop your own query and try to answer that you will face difficulty that is so good to have we will discuss about it tomorrow हाँ yes शेखर of course see मेरे क्वेश्चन ने क्या बोला था रिट्रीव द रिलेशनशिप्स तो मैंने रिलेशनशिप कॉलम लिख दिया अगर मेरे को मैं कह रहा हूँ कि रिलेशनशिप की तरफ एक कॉलम नहीं चाहिए मेरे को पूरी डिटेल्स चाहिए तो एस्ट्रिक एस्ट्रिक मीन्स एवरीथिंग तो अब वो सारी बातें दिखा रहा है ऑल द डेटा ऑफ डिपेंडेंट टेबल प्रोवाइडेड दिस कंडीशन इज ट्रू हाँ मनीष वो पाइथन वाला वो मत करो यहाँ पे ये पाइथन या आर में या सी और जावा या जो भी तुम्हारी आदत है वो नहीं चलता है एसक्यूएल नॉट डबल इक्वल ये सिंगल इक्वल टू से काम करे थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होंगी बहुत सारी चीज थोड़ी थोड़ी सी डिफरेंस होंगी हाँ वो फायदे की तो बहुत है। अभी अभी तो जान बची है तुम्हारी अपर केस लोअर केस से। और क्या चाहते हो पहले दिन मिल जाए। इतना बहुत है आज के लिए। ठीक है। ओके एनीवे गुड टू सी क्वेश्चंस कमिंग। एनीवन एल्स एनी फर्दर क्वेश्चन। ओके हाउ डज द सेकंड हाफ लुक्स। शेखर सेकंड अगर एरर आ रहे हैं तो पढ़ के देखिए अदरवाइज मैं प्रेजेंटर बनाता हूँ आपको। ओके अगेन यू पीपल विल नॉट डू दैट। Maybe I can see some answers. Just one single letter answer. BCI. Where BCI? Boring, confusing, interesting. Just a quick feedback so that I can prepare my query for tomorrow. For damn sake, have pity on me. हमारा एक सेशन रेडी करना पड़ता है। हाँ, that is something beautiful about healthcare. It is as good as two people talking in plain English. Okay, okay. Manish, Shekhar, Vatsal, Monica, Jyoti, all saying hi. Or 4 5 people are saying hi. Well, Shekhar, I'm making you presenter. Let's see what is the problem. Others, if there is no further question, you are free to leave. Bye bye and take care. We will connect tomorrow. If there is some question, stay and drop me the question in the chat box. Try to take as many questions as I can. Others can please leave. No problem at all. Done for the day. Bye bye. Enjoy.
Hello.
Yes, Manish, can you share the screen?
Yes, sir. So this is the same code which we got from your side, and when I'm just pasting that same code, it is showing me the right process.
It is not the complete code. It is not the
Okay.
complete code. It is the department location one. There was a code to create department location. Delete these lines, Manish. If I have to tell you line number 36 to line number 38, delete it all.
Okay.
The query was not complete, that's why error.
Then I have to paste something else.
Yes, I am dropping in the chat box right now.
Okay, sir.
There it is. Okay, thanks, Monica. Monica has already done that. So you have to paste this. So it starts with create table. Create table अभी क्लॉजिंग है तो तुम्हारी क्वेरी में रन कहाँ से हो?
Okay.
You execute that. Execute that. Okay, there is department location there. Now insert into execute, refresh. View the table. टेबल तो तुम बना चुके हो, इसीलिए एरर आ रहा है. डुप्लीकेट नहीं बनेगी, बनी तो हुई है. डिपार्टमेंट लोकेशन कौन सा
हाँ got it,
डिपार्टमेंट
sir.
किस लोकेशन पे ऑपरेट करता है, वही टेबल चाहिए. मैच कर लो पीडीएफ से, वही बनी हुई है. ठीक ठाक, ठाक ठीक, बढ़िया.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
ओके, so very fine guys. I can take another maybe just quickly if there is any question I can take one or two more questions. हाँ जी वही है शेखर. बेस्ट फॉर बाकी लोगों के लिए बता रहा हूँ. थैंक यू, ग्लैड यू आस्क्ड इट because I see all of you are executing from that lightning time there, the button. So start making this habit of using keyboard shortcuts. The same control enter works here also, Shekhar, and the same control enter will work in Python also. So ठीक है, मजे आ गए. जुगाड़ मिल गया. चल ठीक है, बढ़िया. And okay, well guys, I don't see any further questions coming in, so let's wind up for today. Yeah, call it a day. Bye bye. Take care everyone. Welcome everybody. We'll connect tomorrow same time. Signing off. Bye all.